Hello, welcome to Film Conscious,
My name is Erin.
and my name is Maddie.
If it's your first time here, hello. On this podcast, we discuss films and their various meanings, and we give our general take on them. We will chat about favorite actors, scenes, songs, and many other important film stuff.
Please like and subscribe. This week, we'll be chatting about.
Janet Planet!
Wow!
Yay!
Yay!
A few warnings. This film is rated PG-13. It deals with sensitive topics including depression, sexual orientation, and suicide. We'll have the resources at the end of the episode, so if you need them, go check them out. They'll also be in the description box below. The film summary. Janet Planet, a 2023 film directed by Annie Baker, follows a 11-year-old girl named Lacey, who spends the summer at home in western Massachusetts with her mother, Janet. As a long summer drifts on by, three visitors enter her and her mother's life, for better or worse.
Film's meaning. The film emphasizes the profound love that a mother and daughter can share, one that will last forever. It captures the overall feeling of nostalgia and covers topics of adolescence and love throughout the evolving mother-daughter relationship. Another note here is that I thought was really interesting was I was doing some research and I found that Jane Schoenbrunn, the director of I Saw the TV Glow, also left praise, like on a Twitter post mentioning E. Baker's Janet Planet is the sublime masterpiece. I will be watching it for the rest of my life. A film about something that there isn't a word for, but there should be. The experience of being young and trying to glean the extent to which you feel safe being part of the world, which I think explains things really perfectly for the film.
So we both wrote some things down to touch on that are in the film. I wanted to start off with the slow pacing of the film. Some people think that it's too slow. I think it's honestly just our generation and a lot of people losing their capability to sit down and watch something for a long period of time.
I
The
completely
movie itself is not that long. I don't think it's that slow of pacing. I think compared to some films, yes, it's slower, but I think that really adds to the nostalgic feeling. When you have a summer as a child, you feel like the summer lasts 10,000 years. It's only 2 months or so. So I think it's fine. Do you think it's
I think it's good. I love the pacing. I
hmm
don't think they should have done it any other way. I like the way that it is. Also, yeah, we talked about this last time, I think, too. It's like people have such terrible attention spans now. Sorry, but it's true. Their attention spans suck.
yeah.
And now when they sit down to watch a movie, or you have to sit off of your phone for
hmm
like more than an hour, you go insane.
Yeah.
I think this movie was just fine in terms of pacing.
Mhm. I think
Um,
some of the scenes were longer, but I think they were longer for a point.
that
They
was intentional, I think.
It was entirely intentional. So I think honestly that point we don't need to talk about much. Because for us it wasn't slow. Maybe for you it's gonna be slow. Maybe you thought it was slow, but I think the slowness added to the film.
Not in a slow way.
Yeah. Another point I wrote down was there was a lot of different focus on quiet moments within the film, a lot of bugs, nature sounds, and a lot of it was just focusing on the summer aspect and Lacey's summer experience. Um, I think we can tie this into your like location and set design a little bit.
No,
Um,
for sure.
you talked about the mall scene, or you'll talk about it a little bit later in the episode, but it's just the overall focus of like moments.
It's yeah, they capture each and every moment in the film very well.
hmm
Like the cult scene, the mall scene, the we see them at the summer camp in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like every single location that they've picked and the set design that they've structured for the film, I think works really well in a way that it's fluid and it puts you in a place. It doesn't feel artificial. It feels very real. And I think the actors interact with it in a very real way. Um, yeah.
There's one scene that I loved that I think some people wouldn't appreciate as much as I did, but I appreciated it a lot. Where Lacey is just laying in the backyard. All you see is her laying in front of like a bush, and she's staring at the
Oh,
sky. And there's a bunch of bug sounds. There's a lot of cicadas, which currently I'm experiencing. I've never had this much experience hearing cicada sounds, but it's weirdly nostalgic. You feel like you're connected to your surroundings just because you can hear it so much. I don't know, the scene, it showed kind of also the innocence of Lacey a bit.
yeah.
She's just a child. She's staring at the sky, looking at the clouds. Um, I thought it was really special.
I wonder if having like a very natural environment plays into nostalgia because like forests and obviously the environment we're in has been here for so long.
Yeah.
You know, it's like even though we didn't grow up in this certain situation,
Mhm.
we were raised with movies that always depict it as a nostalgic factor. And also it's just like everyone everyone knows nature. So it's
Mhm.
like, and this has been here forever. Nature itself is nostalgic because it's old.
For
So
a lot of people, I think this aspect of bug sounds in nature and forest could be very nostalgic for us if like a film has the coast or ocean.
yeah,
Also with like lakes and stuff. For a lot of people, it again is very nostalgic. Summary. Yeah.
I brought up the point. The movie is it's not traditional format. It's sectioned into sort of chapters. We have these three people that come into Janet and Lacey's life, and they all have their own chapter. But then the last chapter we get isn't a person, or maybe it's personified. We have the fall, which is both a season, and I think it's also intentionally representing something. But I couldn't figure out if is this Janet's fault because after rejecting this guy, she's dancing with a bunch of other guys by the end and Lacey is just watching? Or is it newfound freedom and autonomy for both Janet and Lacey because they're falling out of the dependency on love? Maybe not so much Janet for Lacey, but Lacey's attachment to her mother.
You bring up a good point. I do think something that maybe didn't fully make sense to me is I think in that same chapter, um, Janet goes on a date with this guy under a tree and they're like picnicking, but this man suddenly disappears. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. Yes.
And that didn't fully develop in my head.
I think it because she rejected him, he obviously left. I think he was present there.
Uh-huh. I wasn't sure if he was more of something she was making up or if he was an actual person.
I think he was real because I was thinking about that too when it happened. And I don't think she would have told Lacey about going out with this guy if
Mhm.
wasn't real. You know what I mean?
For some reason, I was kind of depicting it as like she's wanting more time for herself, though. Like, maybe this man never existed, and she went on a picnic to go find herself.
But
And
then why
this,
would she imagine this guy reading this poem to her and then her spacing off?
I think, just as like she's, I don't know, the film continuously is having her find new ideas of things,
Yeah.
with people and without people. And I think maybe this poem is like something she's reading that she's finding out for herself. I don't know really how to understand the ending of the film. I think that's probably purposeful. People have different interpretations of it. I kind of think the fall is more of like her finding her new way in life, and Lacey is watching that, but Lacey is also at the very end watching it but separating herself from it. She's
Yeah.
finding her own way in life as well. Their bond is so deep, yet they're slightly separating.
Her mom is so happy by the end of the film, dancing. And someone even asked her, I think this is a very interesting part too, because someone asks her if she wants to dance and she rejects it
Yeah.
because she doesn't want to be involved with the dance. I think that's also just a big action to show that she's setting off on her own.
Hmm.
Something that happens in childhood too. It's like at one point your mom starts dressing you, your mom isn't like, or your parental figure isn't like constantly taking care of you.
Hmm. Yeah, you gotta go out to figure out who you are away from your mother. Because
Yeah.
your mother is such a big inspiration for a lot of people, or your parental figure is a big inspiration, but you also, at some point, figure out who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Another point I brought up was Lacey's care for her toys throughout the film. We see this a lot, both like I think there's the little stage she has in her room,
Yeah.
or little theater, and all of like the little toys, the troll that um her
Her
friend
friends, yeah.
yeah gives her. She gives them water and food and like puts them to bed like a mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mother figure. She also has this toy, this really interesting toy of like Red Riding Hood, and then
Mhm.
you flip it over. If you like flip down her dress, it's the grandma, and if
That's
you
not her toy.
whose toy is that?
It's the lady who is teaching her piano. It's her
Oh,
toy. It's on her chair in the waiting room because Lacey goes a little bit early for a piano appointment and she sees
gotcha.
this toy.
And she picked.
Um, so it's very symbolic of like a two-sided.
But then also she flips up the grandma's head and it turns into the wolf.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. You can again interpret that in a lot of different ways. But I do agree with like the little stage she has in her room. It's very yeah, mother figure, but also I think it kind of shows Lacey doesn't have any friends really in the film. And I think these little um dolls are her friends in a way.
I think one last point I want to bring up, I didn't write it on here, but the scene where Janet Lu- Lacey and Janet are in bed and they're talking about Lacey mentions what happens if I like girls,
Hmm.
and Janet is like, well, actually I think it would be actually pretty good if you were a lesbian, and I've been suspecting that you were because of the way that you are. I just want to bring that up because I think it's such like a interesting point in the film and it's very brief. Favorite actor in the film?
My favorite actor, I said Zoe Ziegler, who plays Lacey. She did a really great job as such a young actor, and I don't think she's been in that many films previously, but she did an amazing job. Her dynamic with Julian
Julianne Nicholson.
Nicholson. I can
Yeah,
read.
got it.
Um, they just had a great dynamic. They did really well.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think they're a very believable mother-daughter duo.
Yeah.
Um, I also said the same. Why wouldn't I say different? Um, Zoe, Zoe, I want to say Ziegler because I had a teacher named Ziegler.
Hmm.
So Ziegler, I'm not too sure. And Julianne Nicholson. I definitely agree. Also, Abby Harry, who's the casting director of the film, also worked on I Saw the TV Globe. They did an incredible job on casting because everyone else was very like cohesive to what the environment was.
Yeah.
So that was really great.
Yeah. My favorite quote in the film, I picked a very simple quote when Lacey and Janet are laying in bed. They both sleep in the same bed occasionally. which happens a lot in people's childhood. Maybe you've experienced it, maybe you haven't. But Lacey says, "Can I have a piece of you?" before Janet is leaving to go sleep in her own bed. And I don't know, this was really symbolic to me of just childhood, but also how deep their bond is. Um, Most kids don't experience the world in the way that Lacey does. Um, or they do, and it's just shown so well in this film. I think Lacey saying, "Can I have a piece of you?" just dives deeper into the bond that they have.
Yeah, for sure. It's very sweet. For my quote, I picked one by Janet, and she says, "Oh, I can't trust my instinct because I'm the woman, I'm the person who makes bad decisions." But even the word bad, why do we say that word to ourselves? I just thought it was very like, it felt very gripping. She's also talking to a close friend at this time, having a long discussion about it. But I think it brings up a good point of like, where do we draw the line of bad and how do we reel ourselves back without being damaging and doing it in a way that's still, I don't know, knowing that we're going to be on a comfortable path if we switch our routine. I
Yeah.
think Janet Planet brings up a good point.
They had a lot of deep conversations and brought up some really great quotes, um, quite often. So that was cool.
My favorite moment was definitely the mall scene. I was very enthralled by it. Comes at the beginning of the film. Um, I think the crew who worked on setting it up was so incredible because that scene is like what, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it's Lacey and this other girl running through the mall, but like it the camera moves very fast, but you can like see flashes of these very like nostalgic shops. It's so whimsical. All the shops, like the clothing, the merchandise stands, the coin slot machines with like cool cheap prizes, and then like the little rides, like they have a little like a rickety teacup ride that was really cute. Yeah, I was just really amazed by how everything was so on spot. I don't know if like a mall like that still exists.
Hmm.
So if they were putting it together, I think that's very special.
Yeah, this film is supposed to be in 1991, I believe.
Yeah.
So for us, it feels nostalgic, even though it's before our childhood. But I do agree, like the mall scene, even though I didn't go to the mall when I was younger, we've mentioned this in other episodes, but neither of us went a lot, but it was still a big piece of childhood, and I think it is for a lot of people. So this was a really good, like, adaptation of that.
Super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite scene, honestly, just the entire, so I think it's like midway through the film, there's a show or a play that happens. I forget exactly what they call it. Um, and
Mm.
they don't directly say it's performed by a cult, but it's performed by a cult. Um, it's a captivating yet like haunting performance. Lacey and her mother go and they see this local play that this cult puts on. There's a lot of artists and different music and their different art. It's almost religious in a way without being religious.
I want to say spiritual.
It's spiritual, yeah. There's a lot of dancing and singing in many of these different displays that they do. It's childish, but it's also beautiful. It's it's really interesting. It's also a very long scene within the film. I think it lasts for quite a while. But I think the entire time I was watching it, I was kind of in a trance, which I quite enjoyed. Um, which I guess plays on to it being performed by a cult that you kind of want it to be like
Captivating.
trance, whimsical, like yeah, you want to be in the moment, I guess. Anytime Lacey played piano was extremely nostalgic. I did a few piano lessons, but not a lot. within my childhood, but it just was really nostalgic. She doesn't even play it very well, but her having this little hobby was really adorable.
It's very cute. I
Mhm.
definitely liked it, and we see it multiple times throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
I think seeing her growth with that was funny.
Hmm.
I think something big about the first moment you bring up is that the play isn't like at a theater,
Yeah.
it's outside. And
Hmm.
they're kind of just like in the forest watching, which I think adds to this like whimsical aspect.
For overall rating, I would say 8.5 out of 10. I think yet again it's just an amazing film, but it's not top 10, maybe top 20, but I don't think it's top 10 for me.
I gave the film a 9.5. I don't know if it would be in my top, maybe like a top 15.
Yeah.
Um, I loved everything about the film. I think there was a lot to appreciate about it.
Mhm.
Love the message. I love just like the I don't like saying aesthetic, but like the whole vibe that the film gives off, like the
Mhm.
set design, all of the casting, all of the costume designing, everything feels so intricate, even though it's so simple, and it takes you back.
Mhm.
I think does that in a very good way for world building.
I think that's one thing that's quite cool in the entire film. Technology is not
Yeah,
seen, which is quite refreshing because a lot of films are incorporating more and more technology because the world is. But I think this film being set in the 1990s is quite cool to see. Again, just like no technology.
back.
It adds to the vibe.
I think even some films with no tech, though, they can become like sort of cheesy in a way because I think like this film, Janet Planet, I think they definitely do it right in the sense of capturing that nostalgia, where some
Yeah.
other films make it feel very artificial. I don't know
Hmm.
if that gets across, but like I think that aspect was done really well here, so I give it 9.5.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite song. I chose Evernew by Beverly Glenn Copeland and Voyage by Anthony Mauer, Mawer. I think both of the songs are very like playful, very like lively but mellow.
Mhm.
A lot of the songs in the soundtrack reminded me of elevator music, kind of.
Yeah.
It has that weird like upbeat kind of tone, but it's not crazy. Yeah. Also, Evernew is just like very calm. It feels very restful.
Hmm. I agree with Maddie. They're all very like nostalgic and playful. My favorite overall, I'm not entirely sure how to say this name, Lacrimosa, I believe, by Mozart. There's a few songs by Mozart. I think honestly everyone should start listening to Mozart again. Um, yeah, I put down a few songs that I thought were really nostalgic. Follow That Doll, composed by Anthony Meyer or
Our
Mauer. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name.
either.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah, right. That's the mall scene one. That's
Yeah. Round and Round and Russian Lullaby by Labana or something around there. Um, Also weirdly nostalgic.
they're nursery rhymey.
They're nursery rhymes. So that's why I think they felt nostalgic, but they're beautiful. Um, and then Silgo Creek, performed by Wild Asparagus. Honestly, I thought Wild Asparagus was just like an amazing little name for a band, but it's Irish. I think it's happening when they're doing a bit of the kind of square dance or like Irish dance that they were doing.
By
So
the end of
that was really nostalgic because I'm Irish and I did Irish dance. So yeah, so a lot of the songs hit really well. They were good.
favorite song of the week.
My favorite song, I chose a Sufjan Stevens song. I felt like this fit with the film and just my week this week. On Wayne Gacy Jr. by Sufjan Stevens. Um, it's just too good. Sufjan is just too good.
Love a Sufjan song. I feel like there's never like a Sufjan Stevens miss. It always like
Yeah.
hits in some way.
hmm
I choose Last Train to San Fernando by Johnny Duncan and the Bluegrass Boys. And it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a old kind of like countryish song. It plays at the beginning of Asteroid City, the Wes Anderson movie,
Yeah.
and I've been listening to it a lot, like every day. It's really good. The intro's like very like intense and then it gets like really goofy
Yeah.
and like country, like they're singing really fast. It's crazy. You should listen to it.
Okay. 20th Century Women from 2016 is the film that I would like to shout out. It's been out for quite a while now, but I had never seen it, and it's always intrigued me, but I just decided, I think it was just a few nights ago to watch it. Um, it has some really amazing, pretty big actors. Um, and yeah, I don't know, it just again, nostalgic. I don't know, I've been watching so many films that are nostalgic. I think everything just keeps on getting more and more nostalgic as we're getting older. But this film was really good.
Why also like no shade to current films, but like why would I watch a film that's made right now when I could watch a film that's more intriguing and from the past?
Yeah.
My media shout out is When Life Gives You Tangerines. This is a K drama I've been watching for the last 2 weeks. I'm still watching it and it's very good. It was made in, or it was released in March 2025. It's really good, very like sweet, but also very heartbreaking. It starts off in like 1940s Korea.
Hmm.
So all the clothing and all the sets are old, and then it goes to the future in like the 1980s, 1990s. So we see like the changes throughout time of like all of the clothing, of the sets, how people act, all the events that are going on actually at the time. I thought it was very interesting. I cry every episode. So I think I think it's a good watch. Okay, that is the end of the pod. Thank you for watching. If you would like, please like a like, maybe a subscribe, a comment, maybe two comments, maybe three comments.
Out episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and watch this one, which if you've made it this far, you've watched it. This is episode 7.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, seven, lucky number. This is gonna be our big break.
big break.
Guys, make this our big break, please.
We love you guys. Toodaloo.